our great experienced person related to archaeology department of Government of Pakistan. And I will again repeat that he spent a sufficient time period of his life and served as a Director General of the Department of Archaeology at Islamabad. I mean, respected Dr. Muhammad Arif Sahab. And I'm sure, inshallah, his presentation will also enhance the tourism of Pakistan through CPEC and peace and love for all. Sir, please, respected Dr. Muhammad Arif Sahab, please, sir.
डॉक्टर साहब, मैं आपका और आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का इंतहाई मशहूर हूँ कि आपने मुझे यहाँ बुलाया और कुछ चीज़ें शेयर करने का मौका बख्शा. थैंक यू. Apart from the strategic location of Pakistan, in the present day geopolitical situation of the world, the next important distinction that belongs to her is the cultural wealth of the evolutionary process of human society and the monumental landmarks of the succession of historic periods. The legacy of human culture in Pakistan is rich and varied. The country has been universally recognized as one of the few in the whole world where the cultural progress of mankind is discernible in nearly an unbroken chain for about 2 million years. The Swan Valley, where researchers have found the oldest stone tools, Sangao Cave and the Sakhar Rohri Hills tell of the formative stages of the cultural evolution in the South Asian subcontinent. Additionally, fresco paintings and engravings at the caves at Lora Lai and Musa Khel illustrates the story of prehistoric society in Pakistan. The remains of human activity exposed at Mehergarh, this important site in the history of mankind, also known as the Neolithic Revolution, marks the beginning of a village farming tradition that ultimately prepared the grounds for the formation of the Indus Valley civilization. These sites of the famous Indus Valley civilization are well known the world over for their depiction of the mature phase of a specific cultural era. Gandhara is yet another landmark of Pakistan archaeological landscape. Gandhara art is the first representations of the Buddha in human form, which have helped define the artistic canon for Buddhist art throughout the Asian continent up to the present. With the advent of Islam in this part of the world, Muslim tradition started getting reflection in the architecture, and now we have some of the fine mausoleums, gardens, forts, mosques, etc., enriching the format of cultural heritage left for us by our ancestors. Gilgit-Baltistan province is an integral part of northern Pakistan, where the majestic mountain ranges of the Central and South Asia interact. Himalaya, Karakoram, and Hindu Kush ranges provide a safe refuge for origination, evolution, and development of culture. Being on the crossroads linking Central and South Asia enjoys great geographical and strategically advantageous location. In the words of Professor Hoffman, the 2,400-kilometer long mountain range forms a seemingly impenetrable barrier separating the Indian subcontinent from the highlands of Central Asia and China. Yet the history of this part of the world, supposed by archaeological finds, proves that throughout hundreds and thousands of years important cultural movements were able to overcome this obstacle. In the same context, the words of Professor Karl Yatmar are very insightful and meaningful. He writes, in an archaeological respect, northern Pakistan, between the westernmost extensions of the Great Himalaya in the south with the Hindu Kush and Karakoram in the north was almost a black box. However, rock arts might offer definite and detailed insight to those trained in reading signs of the past. These high mountain areas have been at all times a crossroad of important trade routes connecting China and Central Asia with the Indo-Pakistan subcontinent. According to the legendary Italian scholar of Oriental culture and religions, Professor Gesut Tusi, the discovery of Buddhist texts in Gilgit indicates the presence of learned communities in Gilgit-Baltistan. Nor do I exclude the possibility that some stupas may still be discovered in Baltistan containing other books. In 1931, Sir Alstein announced the extraordinary discovery in the subcontinent. The oldest Buddhist scripts in the world had been unearthed in Naupur, Gilgit. Sir Alstein's famous expedition to China and Central Asia, undertaken by parts of this region, brought a clear focus on the need for future research on the region's ancient roads. The Buddhist medallion at Manthal Skardo that was mentioned for the first time by Wine in 1842 and published with photographs by A. Durant 1899 and especially J.E. Duncan in 1906. Bears on its eastern face more carvings barely observed until today. It is a sitting Buddha on a lotus throne flanked by two standing Bodhisattvas. Also, Hungarian traveler J.E. Ojafelpi explained about the carvings of Baltistan in 1884. It is the historical period that more information can be gleaned about the people who traveled through this terrain. Inscriptions in many languages, primarily Kharoshti, Brahmi, Sogdian, as well as Hebrew and Chinese, attest to the fact that this area are well traversed by traders, merchants, and pilgrims over the centuries. The opening of the Karakoram Highway in 1978 brought an excellent opportunity for national and international scholars to carry forward research on Gilgit-Baltistan. A considerable part of ancient Silk Road passed through these desolated mountain fastnesses and had been known to everyone and not a legend but as a fact of history. From the result of field research, the construction of history of this region since prehistoric times is determined by different waves of foreign influences, threats to the cultural heritage. Gilgit-Baltistan is going to lose one of the most precious rock arts and rock inscriptions due to the construction of the Amir Basha Dam. The Amir Basha Dam project has a very high profile within Pakistan and abroad. It has fired growing debate about the rock carvings and their fate. The Archaeological Institute of America has highlighted the case, and the World Monuments Fund has included the Chilas rock carvings on its watch list. Professor Hoffman saying, forgets everything, more than 80% will be submerged in the remaining carvings of the slopes will be destroyed because of the construction of the new 100-kilometer stretch of Karakoram Highway. Medieval NASA World Commission on Dams Secretariat mentioned that there is two-way tension, saving the past and providing for the present. Archaeologists don't face the political demands for water and electricity. Government don't always see the potential value of cultural resources until too late. Dr. Aisha Pamela, an archaeologist and expert consultant of the WAPRA, prepared the heritage plan to safeguard the heritage affected by the building of the reservoir. The Cultural Heritage Management Plan to preserve the rock carvings and inscriptions in the reserved area will be implemented. Number one, to identify and document all those boulders, bearings, carvings, and inscriptions possible to move the open-air museum to be set up in Chilas. Number two, the project has been devised by the international experts of the highest repute in conformity with the World Bank, UNESCO, national international procedures and standards. Number three, important petroglyphs and pictographs would be 3D scanned, documented, replicated, and relocated. Protective treatment for important carved rock surfaces in the water reservoir down, in the addition to the on-site protective mitigation through barriers, screens, signage, bracing, etc. Restoration, number five, restoration and renovation of Chilas Fort, establishment of a museum and library. Further recommendation, there is an urgent need to preserve the treasure of history for the world and for the generation to come, as the petroglyphs can't swim. B. To generate active interest in genuine research works in the field-based archaeology of the area. The carvings and inscriptions are priceless and irreplaceable assets of Gilgit-Baltistan and have a great potential for promoting cultural tourism and generating economic benefits for the local people. C. Archaeological excavation of the potential sites would be carried out before construction work of the dam. D. The local government should be taken active measures to protect the precious cultural heritage as well as implementing the protection laws such that Antiquities Act 1975. The problems became more serious in the past few years. Several rock art sites were destroyed and some relics were stolen by robbers. Experts and international institutions may be consulted to rescue archaeological sites endangered by the construction of the dam. The carvings are invaluable for the study of the cultures and arts. Rock Art Research Institute should be established at Chilas. A core team of qualified and experienced archaeologists who will work with the Department of Archaeology and other major stakeholders should be constituted. Besides, the government of Gilgit-Baltistan, Karakoram International University, and Baltistan University should initiate cultural exchange program for students, professionals, and young scholars, and such activities which will help the understanding of international cooperation and friendly relations with other nations. Cultural exchange program will help respecting differences and tolerating the beliefs of others. Furthermore, introduction of the cultural heritage at international level will attract the foreign tourists, scholars, and students, and tourism will be developed. At the end, I will show some pictures we have discovered early. तो डॉक्टर साहब कैसे हम आपको पिक्चर्स दिखाएं?